Welcome back to the DIY Guys podcast. As always, I'm joined by my very good friend, Mr. Nicholas Morris. How are you doing, mate?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
Stuff? Yeah, not too bad, thanks, mate. Just trying to survive this infernus of heat that's constantly going on.
I'm just trying not to move much, just sweating and make it casual, and I just wipe constantly. So too much.
The light.
Yeah, I don't like people that moan, but it's just too much, isn't it?
No, exactly. Yeah, you're like, I don't want to moan because it normally rains loads here, but
yeah.
Can't it just be like mid-20s? That would just be
perfect. So mid-20s is the best. And since I've had Lydia, I actually prefer 22, 23. I've gone even lower.
Yeah,
it used to be 25, but now I'm like, don't let's get sunburnt.
Yeah, and you've got to run round after.
Yeah. But it's all good. Better than the rain.
No, exactly that. Exciting times. We've got a couple of guests.
Yes.
Today. We've got Ellie and Lawrence over at Just Another Renovation.
Yeah.
And I know we both love these kind of properties. Super jealous. They've got a 6-bed Victorian property and it looks amazing.
Amazing. Love Victorian properties. They made them better then than they do now for some bizarre reason. Yeah. We've got more tech than ever and those old properties are just the best, aren't they?
Just so good.
Bay windows.
Just all the features.
All the features. Fireplaces.
Yeah. And they're so good at keeping those features and restoring them, which we both love. We spoke to numerous other people and respecting the era of the property and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And they obviously they have massive negatives, don't they? So it'd be interesting to talk to them about that. But they definitely cost more. They're not insulated. So you need to look into doing all that. Yeah. Probably lava and plaster everywhere, ripping stuff out. But that's just part of the fun for me.
That is the best part, isn't it? Really ripping everything out.
So maybe we can do some marriage or couple counselling as well, see how they're getting on.
Well, that's the other part. You've got the renovation, then you want to dig into them as a couple. And how they get on with everything and who does what. That's also exciting.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what stage that, because I see on Instagram they're doing a lot themselves and making a big progress. So can't wait to chat about it.
That's it, and they're both proper DIYers. They both get stuck in. They both do their bits and pieces in their property, and it's what everyone wants to see, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So nice. Well, let's jump in and speak to Ellie and Lawrence.
Hi everyone, we have Ellie and Lawrence here from the great name of Just Another Renovation. How are you guys?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Yeah, we're good. How about yourselves?
We're good.
Not too bad, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Well, thank you for joining us. Could you please tell the guys at home a little bit about the huge task you're undertaking?
Yes, so we bought this 6-bedroom Victorian home about 6-7 months ago now, and we actually just fell in love with this house the minute we saw it, which we were really surprised that no one else on the market wanted the house. It had been the sellers had been trying to sell it for about 18 months, and I think everyone else had been put off by the sheer scale of the work that needed to be done. So there's damp throughout, the heating system is barely working, there's a roof that needed to be replaced, there's so much that needed to be done, but we were keen for the idea of a renovation, and we thought, as we'd already done a small renovation, this was the next step for us. The house was also in our dream location. We're in a seaside city, and the house also has a beautiful south-facing garden and a parking space. So this house really felt like we'd hit the jackpot. That's a bit about our house.
Yeah, it's really got that sort of curb appeal, where you just look at the house and you're like, wow, it's stunning. And then obviously that entranceway is just incredible, isn't it? With all the paneling and bits and pieces.
I think Victorian features, high ceilings. It does feel quite grand. I think that's, as Ellie talked through some of the issues, we'll probably get into more of them as we go. But you obviously have to look past the issues, don't you? You have to look at what the potential of the property is. And I think we could see a hell of a lot here. Bit the bullet and bit off. Let's see if it's more than we can chew, but hopefully not. Big task ahead.
And what made you kind of decide to do such a big renovation? Obviously, you said you'd done a little bit before, but what made you think, yeah, screw it, let's tackle a 6-bedroom house?
Well, we do love a challenge, and as you say, we had done a renovation before, and by the time we sort of got to the end of it, we were really itching for the next project. I mean, we love home improvements. We, love walking around the local area and looking at the beautiful architecture, and looking at this house when we saw it. I mean, it really is beautiful, albeit needing a lot of work. So yeah, we just fell in love with the charm, and the paneling really is very striking. When we came across it and discovered that to take this on, we were able to take this on because it did fit within our budget. We thought, what a story to tell to be able to take on an old 6-bedroom Victorian home. We were looking at some other houses, about 4 beds, that were in our sort of same budget range. But we decided, no, let's just go for something that's going to really stretch us. It's going to take a while. It's going to take up a lot of our time, but it's something we really enjoy doing, and we love the process. So yeah, it's going to keep us busy for a long time.
It's very satisfying. Anyone who's done a renovation or is doing a renovation knows that it's a lot of hard work, but it's super satisfying watching it all come together. Being able to put your kind of ID on the house and your design choices and bringing it to life. So I think, we fell in love with that. Ellie kind of says maybe the next house we'll do another big renovation. I'm not sure as much on with that.
Yeah.
I mean, let's see. But this one's definitely gonna stretch us. But in terms of size, you're right. It's a big property. The next step up would be like a small hotel or something. So I don't think we're planning to do that anytime soon.
I guarantee you definitely do another renovation as well. I swear we're either just crazy or something. We're just never happy with like the finished one. There's always something bigger and better, right?
Yeah.
So what do you sort of discuss about, it's such a large property, it's got like the basement, and then is it 3 floors above that? Did you have a little plan or think about where to begin? Because it's so difficult to actually know.
Yes.
Yeah, so basically the worst room in the house when we came to visit it was the bathroom. Like the tiles were literally falling off. Like as we had our first shower, the wall was literally crumbling into the bath as we were trying to have a shower.
Jeez.
I mean, all the lights are sort of like hanging from like broken beams. They're just sort of wrapped around a beam sort of in the bathroom. It was just a really
pipes coming out of every wall in every direction. Yeah, it's out of a horror show.
You just didn't feel clean having a shower in that bathroom. So we knew that we really wanted to do the bathroom and have a nice bathroom, particularly as we were obviously working really hard and wanted to just wash the day off at the end of it. But despite the house being so large, it's only got 1 bathroom. So it was quite easy for us to start piecing the journey working backwards, because we knew we really wanted to get a new bathroom, but we would have to put in a new bathroom before we completely stripped out the first one. And then it's sort of, you start winding back. We're basically moving our current kitchen into another room and turning the current kitchen into a downstairs bathroom and utility room. So in order to do our upstairs bathroom, we've had to sort of work backwards from that stage. So we're now in the middle of doing our kitchen. I say in the middle, we're very close to being at the end of our kitchen renovation. But sort of just to put a bit of a plaster on the upstairs bathroom, we've kind of sort of scraped the wall back a bit and stuck a few new tiles on, but it's very much like it will do for now job.
Yeah, it's still very crummy. But yeah, I think once we've got the downstairs WC, obviously then the shackles are off, we can renovate the bathroom. And I think we want to kind of make it quite, I don't know, we want to make it quite special, don't we? So kind of a walk-in shower, curbless shower with niches in the wall, LEDs, and, just make it really, really vibey and nice. But yeah, logically, we looked at what we needed to do, bathroom, kitchen, everything basically. But starting with those 2, and that kind of gave us a logical plan. And then we built from there out. And obviously the kitchen being such a large room right at the heart of the house, there's so much to do there. And it was a complete, not only just a rip out, as you say, but a rip out and a moving as well, right? So rerunning pipes, electrics, all that stuff. There was only one socket in the whole room that we moved it into. So obviously needed to redo all that, ceiling lights. So yeah, the whole shebang really. But it's actually quite good because it's made us address one of the hardest rooms first, right, with the kitchen.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think having got, and also one of the most expensive rooms as well. So having kind of nearly got over that hurdle, I think, I'm not going to say we've broken the back of the renovation. We definitely haven't, but we've one of the harder jobs, right?
Yeah, I think every room is going to feel really easy after the kitchen. It's just going to be sort of decorating and the exciting, like, finishing stuff rather than there's just been so much prep to get to this point with the kitchen, with stripping everything back, and we're putting out underfloor heating in, wet underfloor heating. It's the first time we're trying to do wet underfloor heating. We've already learned like where we've gone slightly wrong or could have made our lives slightly easier for ourselves, but yeah, we're giving everything a go, and it'll be really rewarding to have our kitchen that we've built ourselves from the ground up, so that'll be good.
Yeah, and I think like you may have these grand plans and then you actually move into somewhere and you're like, actually I've got to fix like 10 things before I can even think about like starting something. And I suppose I've got to bring up your where you had to dig up your driveway to sort out the damp. Like, that's stuff you don't think about. Did you know that going into the property, or was that something you found out later?
So we obviously, when we viewed the property, we saw the damp, and large chunks of the room that we're actually in here might look quite nice behind, but the rest of the room doesn't look quite as nice. There's chunks of the wall that are completely missing, and you can see evidence of damp. So we knew that this room suffered from damp, and I think having big bay windows, damp it can be quite common, right, for a number of reasons. So when we done the first viewing, we did a second viewing. We were trying to piece together what some of the reasons for the damp may be. As you mentioned, we have a basement. It's a full height basement, so not so much worried about damp coming up, as it were. But there are gutters outside that kind of are leaking, so you can see marks on the wall where they've been leaking. So that could be a cause. Our neighbours had mentioned that they had removed a few bricks from under the bay and actually excavated the cavity, and the cavity was completely full of stuff, which was leading to cold bridging, and that was increasing the damp. Also, there's single glazed windows here with wooden frames, so that doesn't help as well. And then ultimately, we did see that the ground level outside was going very high to the damp proof course, which in this case, on such an old property, 1890, it's slaked. But we could see that it was very high up against it. It wasn't over, but it was very close. So the good news is that we have a lot of avenues to explore to try and remediate the damp. The bad news is that we have a lot of avenues to explore to try and remediate it. Yeah, we did dig it all out, and let's see if that makes a substantial difference.
I mean, the things you talk about are just sort of inherent with a 1890s property, but it's kind of the payoff as well. You sort of have to go through that grim world to get to like that sort of amazing property with the bay windows and all the details that come with Victorian property. I know you said you've got, is it like 3 meter high ceilings and things like that?
Yeah, in every room. So
yeah, 3 meters, which is, again, it's lovely, but then when it comes to heating the property,
exactly,
it's not so great. So these are all the things that I think when we first saw it, we thought, wow, this is amazing, and it is amazing. But the lack of insulation in this property, single glazed windows. So our loft doesn't have any insulation in it whatsoever.
Not scrap.
Yeah, nothing at all. So we're feeling the effect of these high ceilings now. So very much looking to get the house warmer is kind of the current focus, right?
Yeah, we've been struggling. It's like I'm so sick of like hearing myself say I'm cold like so many times. So again, like just going back to the plan, we've got so much stuff that we want to do to make the house look pretty, but I think we are going to have to like do a little sort of side project of getting some insulation in the loft and making sure we get these windows swapped out as soon as possible. We're actually waiting for planning permission to be able to change these windows, which is again something that we had never come across. We are in a conservation area, meaning that we can't change anything from the front of the house. So again, even though the windows are rotten and single glazed, we still need to request for planning permission to change those. And again, we can't even change our front door. It's quite strict where we are. So yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, those old properties, because I used to live in a flat in Brixton. It was exactly the same, and it was so cold in the winter, and you can literally feel the wind coming through and the cold coming through. And we even had like cold on the inside, like frost on the inside as well. But the council still don't really give you permission that quickly either. It's mad, isn't it?
It is mad, because I think the whole point, I understand the logic of it. They want to preserve the character, but in some cases, like if you look at our windows, they look awful. They look absolutely awful. They're not adding any character. Even if we replace them for UPVC, any kind of UPVC, it would be an upgrade. So I think there could be some more flexibility on it. But I think on this road particularly, before it was designated to be a conservation area and you had to get planning permission, people were just changing stuff kind of left, right and centre. And there is some kind of discrepancy between the properties now. So obviously as time goes on, people get more and more vocal around not letting more of it change. And that's why it's kind of got to this point now where it's almost a bit of a fever pitch. And, even the slightest thing, you've got, you need to register for it and go through the process. It's fine. I'm confident we'll get permission. If not, we'll just have to get single glazed wooden windows, which not great for, economic reasons or, financially or heat wise. But if that's what we have to do, that's what we have to do. Luckily at the rear of the property, we don't have the same stipulations, so we can just change them for double glazing as and when. So, but yeah, that's very much the next project, I think.
Amazing. And so how's that process then? Do you try and find a window that looks similar to what's currently in there, and then you have to submit it to the council and they have to approve it?
Exactly that, yeah. So it should be as close to like as possible. So in our case, sash windows, sliding sash. So it should be, if it's going to be UPVC, it should be UPVC with wood grain effect. Even the kind of details, on the edges, etc., they all need to kind of match with the style, which isn't too unique or bespoke. So I don't think that should be a problem. But yeah, you do need to keep it in keeping with the previous design.
Cool. And in terms of your DIY background, you said you renovated a property previously. Was that sort of your first bold move into DIY, and you've just been learning as you go? And because you really take on some big things like your chimney breast removal and, tackling all those horrible jobs like ripping down ceilings and lava and plaster walls. Has that sort of grown naturally as you've gone on?
Yeah, I mean, we bought our first house together during lockdown. I was just 21 at the time, so I really was thrown in at the deep end. But yeah, we took on some quite big jobs at the last place. We sort of made our kitchen, dining room a bit more open plan. So we sort of changed some walls. And I do think my friends thought, I don't think they quite trusted our vision when they walked in, and it was just like this ancient, grimy kitchen that was falling apart. But yeah, we just like to look at the bones of the house and think, if we strip all this back, what could we do with it? And I think that's kind of like what's put us in a good position, is being able to have a vision with a house. And we've always, as we've already mentioned, we love sort of nice houses, and we haven't been able to afford to go out and get the house that we would want. So we've look for the potential in houses and try to work out how we can make it our own and make it the house that we want.
Yeah, I think on the last property particularly, it was more of we made it open plan, and we changed the carpets, we redid the bathroom, we fully redid the kitchen and turned it from kind of a ghastly 70s. Every surface was super sticky and horrible to kind of modern, and just all the nice things, underfloor heating, the electric underfloor heating, which now not such a great choice, right, in terms of kind of the cost of it, in running costs, etc. Hence why in this house we're taking that learning and trying to do a wet system. But we learned a lot from that, and it was more of a modernization rather than a full renovation. Whereas here, it's not just a modernization; it is doing some of the things you've mentioned around addressing damp. A lot of structural work as well, so removal of the chimney breast, getting steels in to support the chimney breast, supporting load-bearing walls, both getting builders to do it, but also us having a crack at making a doorway for one of them as well. So yeah, we've definitely upped the ante, but yeah, I think that gave us the confidence that with the right tools and the right support, we're very lucky that my dad is very, very skilled, and he's not a tradie by any by his career, but he actually can do plumbing and electrics and all sorts. Wow. So he's super, super handy. We've relied on him a lot. We've tried to ply him with as much, cups of tea, and dinners, etc., as we can, and your family supported a lot.
Yeah, tip runs,
even just giving us food parcels and cooking meals for us when the kitchen was out of commission. So it's been a real team effort.
Yeah, it takes a village.
Yeah, so we've got a really good support system, and we are ambitious, and obviously with the right tools, support, and YouTube, right? Let's
exactly.
If you can do anything, or you feel like you can do anything until you're then looking for other YouTube videos what you've messed up. But I think that gave us the confidence.
If there's people listening that were considering taking on a renovation, maybe not at the scale that you are, but they're like sort of first renovation, what sort of tips would you give them?
Do you know?
Yeah, I think you have to be realistic with how much time you want to put into it, and think about how much time you actually want to dedicate to it, which will inform how quick you actually get the house to be done. With this house and our last house, we wanted to tackle the house quite aggressively, but that did mean giving up a lot of evenings, a lot of weekends, but that meant that we were able to get the renovation done a lot faster. So I think you kind of need to be realistic with how much time you are willing to give to it, and again, depending on the size of the renovation, just be prepared that it can be a really all-encompassing project.
Yeah, I agree. I think I would just add to that decide what you're trying to achieve here. So is this property you're doing up because you want to flip it? Is it a property you want to live in for 5 years, 10 years and then sell, or do you want to be there forever, right? And that will really inform the materials you use, the finish you aim for, because ideally you say, we want a perfect finish. We're always inspired when we go to nice hotels and you walk in and the design flows and the lobby's amazing. These tiles are gorgeous and the mirrors, everything flows together. That's what we want to achieve. But if you're just doing a house up and flipping it, you might not want to do a really dark, moody bathroom that's got, patina mirrors and these kind of dark black Japanese style tiles or anything, because that's not necessarily going to be to the taste of the market, right? Someone might come in and say, well, we love the house, but actually we don't like that bathroom. We're going to have to redo it, even though we thought it was gorgeous, right? We love gold taps, but they don't. So you kind of need to think about what the reason is you're doing for the renovation and strategize, I think, as well in that way.
Yeah. And we love people like you who just really throw yourself sort of head first into these things. And I loved your post when you took down, was it 3 chimney breasts and you threw it all in the back garden? And then you just had the mound of doom. But then you just had like 1 million people all of a sudden, like friends and family. And you said it was done in 3 hours, which blew my mind.
Yeah, no, I was so daunted about that pile being in the back garden. I thought it would take so long to move. And my mum, I probably get a bit of my work ethic from my mum. She's like a real doer. She says, we'll rally the family around. We'll have it done in 3 hours. And we're actually on a permanent road. So when my family came over, they were like, you've got 3 hours. And lo and behold, we managed to get it done. And we even managed to have a bacon sandwich at the end. So I was super impressed with the...
I was going to say, what was the reward? It's usually beers or pizza or something. There's got to be something at the end.
My grandparents even came and got involved, bless them. And it was just after Christmas. So my nan had made some turkey soup and my mum had bought some sausage rolls and we did some bacon sandwiches. So we were well fed at the end. So that was good.
I take it just made sense when you were taking it down, because I did the same. I took down a chimney breast all the way from the roof down, and it made sense for me to throw it out the back as well, because obviously no one was out the back, so I knew it would land on someone. And obviously if you're just going up and down 3 flights of stairs, it would just kill you.
Yeah, exactly. Our house is split level, so it's 3 flights, but there's 5 levels, as it were. So there's split landings as well. Even more, you have to turn quite a few times. So yeah, we chucked it out the window, and then we had the help, the work party to move it all to the front. And then just a few days ago, we had a grab lorry come and take it, and that was so satisfying. Just watch, take massive bucket loads and then just drive away with all our rubbish. It was really good stuff.
Was that all just one grabber lorry as well?
It was.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, actually, because I think that wouldn't have fit into a skip anyway. We were worried about what to do because, again, we couldn't fit a skip on our driveway, and it was difficult on the permitted road to get a skip on the road. So yeah, we were looking into it, and the grab lorry was just a great solution. So I'd recommend that to anyone who's, would fill more than a skip, or basically just want someone to come and pick up all your rubbish for you. So that was great.
We would have needed 2, maybe 3 skips, I think, because the mountain consisted of rubble, bricks, etc., but also a lot of soil, where we'd kind of done some works out the front of the house. And I think with most skips, you're only allowed to partially fill them with soil because it's so heavy. We would have used a number of skips. So the grab lorry is definitely a bit of a hack there.
Nice, yeah. And it's just amazing what you've managed to accomplish, really, with the amount of work that you've had to do. What made you start recording it all on socials then?
Well, I had actually made a renovation page for our last house, but that was just literally for friends and family. So I think I had about 20 followers. And I know that, renovation pages are taking off on Instagram, and I do love to watch them. And I do think our house is quite unique, with the striking paneling, and it is a bit of a crazy story. I feel, the 2 of us taking on a 6-bedroom house. So I wondered if it would appeal to others to sort of watch our journey. It turns out that quite a few people do.
Yeah, it's amazing. And you've obviously got such a huge following now. How are you finding, you're getting a lot of feedback from people in the community?
Yeah, it's mostly positive, but it's also crazy the amount of strong opinions that we have had. We weren't sure originally what we wanted to do with the wooden paneling. Our neighbours very kindly showed us their house, and both of their houses, they have painted the paneling. So upstairs we sort of stripped a bit of the varnish back, and we want to see what it looks like stripped back, or we did a little paint sample, and the amount of abuse we got from that, honestly, there's been you should be locked up for this, you deserve to go to hell, it should be protecting these houses against people like you. But yeah, so it's been a bit of a mixed bag, but it's been overwhelmingly positive, and really nice to hear so many people invested in our journey. So yeah, it's been really lovely, actually.
I mean, a lot of the feedback that we get, so that wood painting video, I think the thumbnail was of you painting the wood, and that's what's kind of made that video blow up. I think that video's got how many views? 2 million views or something like that. So a massive amount of good and bad comes with that. But even if people are leaving bad comments, it just kind of boosts it, and we don't mind. It's quite funny actually reading the comments slagging us off. With in the gravel channel outside the window to assist with the drain, to assist with the damp, we had so many comments saying, you're using the wrong tools. You should be using a big concrete, disc cutter, and use a breaker. And I was just using an angle grinder and an SDS drill, and I knew that I could have used bigger tools, right? But the tools weren't available for the weekend to hire, and it was 150 quid all in. I thought, you know what, I'll just do that myself. But that really triggered so many people, and it's amazing. You've got so many people saying literally the same thing, reams and reams of comments, one after another, saying, using the wrong tool. So it's kind of funny reading those comments, but it's all good for engagement, and it's a bit of a laugh.
I mean, we aren't professionals. We are, we're giving it a go. So I want to make clear that this is by no means the gold standard, but we're giving our best shot. And I'm sure so many people can relate to sort of just giving it a go and hoping for the best.
Making mistakes along the way. And we're not advising people. This isn't an advice channel really, or an Instagram. It's just to show people, the mistakes, the ups and downs. And just trying to be quite honest and transparent with it. So
it's also been great actually getting advice from other people on our social. So that's actually been another, real benefit. Sure. We've had so many suggestions of how to, restore the wood or look after the wood, some things that we haven't heard of. So we'll definitely be giving a few of those a try.
Amazing. And that's the point, right? DIY, do it yourself. Exactly. You're not professionals. None of us are professionals. So, you just give it a go with the tools you've got. I don't get why people are so negative about it when at the end of the day, it came out perfectly, right?
Yeah, it's worked well. I mean, there are some jobs that obviously we're not going to try and do ourselves, right? They're either not worth it because they're too risky. So because we have to retain the chimney stack on the top of our property, we couldn't pull the chimney entirely down as I think you did.
Yeah.
But so we had to get massive steels put in. I mean, the structural engineer recommended like weapons grade steels. I mean, gigantic. They're huge, these things. You can see the video on the page of the builders carrying them up the stairs. And they supported the chimney. They had to be drilled and they had to be welded. So obviously that's way out of our remit. And things like plastering, to be fair, I do see videos of people attempting to do plastering or using I think it's called like Roll Nova, the stuff you can roll on and easy skim and do it yourself. And we kind of thought, well, maybe we'll just let a plasterer do that, right? And get a nice finish and not do the back-breaking work.
It's amazing how many people say about plastering to us. Everyone seems to be like, plastering is where they draw the line. I'm the same. I think I would start off in a bit and I'd be, that's good. And then I'd get sloppy and it would just look like some awful like finish. So yeah, I think everyone's the same on that one.
Yeah, especially the ceilings. I mean, the ceilings.
So hard work as well. And it's just all heavy, like 25 kilogram bags and heavy buckets of water. It's like not fun. How have you guys found renovating as a couple? Not that this is like a couple therapy or anything, but do you ever disagree on like where to begin or what you do? I actually think it's helpful because I've been renovating a property by myself for 3 weeks, and it's sometimes you're like, oh, I've got to do this and all the tidying up and sort all this, and it's quite exhausting. It must be quite nice to have a partner.
It is good. Yeah, it's very nice. I think we work well as a team, and definitely the progress from the last renovation to this one, I think we're resolving disagreements better in terms of decisions. We're very, very aligned with our vision for how we want each of the rooms to look, right? We wanted a light and airy kitchen. We want kind of a bit more of a dark and kind of moody dining room. And, so we've got these kind of strong ideas, and we've seen pictures on Instagram, or we like watching Grand Designs and programs like that. And I think we always agree that looks really nice, and that makes things a lot easier. We're not having to battle.
Yeah.
In terms of actual support during doing the work, it's great to have a second pair of hands, of course. So I feel for you having to do weeks and weeks of work on your own there.
It's brutal. I mean, luckily where I am, I'm not living in it. So it's a lot easier because sometimes I'm just so tired. I'm like, I'll just lock up, take some tools away and just go home and just leave it an absolute dog hole. But how have you found actually living in your property? That must be a whole different game.
Yeah, I mean, I think we we've become very accustomed to living in chaos. I know not everyone can do it, and sort of chatting to some of my friends, they're like, I'm showing them pictures of just, you can only walk sort of 2 feet before you're stumbling over the next sort of set of tools or boxes or
plasterboards.
Yeah, our hallways are so narrow at the moment. We're sort of darting through the house. It's so full. But we do just work well with what we've got, and
we've got the bedroom. The bedroom's in quite good shape.
And we are locked into the payoff at the end, and I think that's what we keep holding on to.
Yeah, I mean, we're quite lucky that one of the bedrooms was fine. Not by a completed house standards. It's a bit grimy. It's kind of got paper on the walls that are, it's wallpaper, but it's kind of a bit dirty, you can tell. And but the floor is fine. It's just kind of a cheap laminate, but it's fine, right? So we were able to put a bed in there, and we've kind of been using that as our bedroom. We could do that from day one, just having given it a clean. If there was nothing, not even a single room, then that would have obviously been harder, but we were able to move in day one and set up some kind of sanctuary there, and then start making a plan of attack for the rest of the house.
I think it's nice to sort of live in a house before you start making these sort of bigger decisions, because then you might change your mind, or you might feel like, oh, actually this will be my bedroom, even though I kind of thought that this other room would be my bedroom, right?
Yeah.
Definitely. I think one example of that would be that it was a breakfast room called the breakfast room, and now the kitchen. It was pretty dark. There was only one window letting light in, and we love natural light, as many windows as possible, and try and let the light kind of flow through the house. So that really informed our decision to cut a hole in the wall and make a doorway, and then we will build steps down into that room. Just because then that means that another bay window in the next room along, the light will kind of filter through from there. So that was only really something that we considered once we'd actually lived here for a little bit, right? And then boosted by the fact that we saw the neighbours and they'd done something similar, so kind of inspired us there. But yeah, I agree. Living in a property does have its benefits while doing a renovation as well.
Also, the commute home is less, right, once you finish work. So
yeah, hopefully your bathroom works now.
Yeah.
It does.
So you've just put the kitchen in, I believe. That must be like a really nice big tick box stage you're getting to now.
Yeah, I mean, we had the kitchen delivered in December, and we finished building that ourselves. We are still waiting for the worktops to be delivered, so it's not quite finished. But we're so excited for that because we've been working on this project for so long. We've put in so many hours, sort of working, doing final things over Christmas. The worktop will be kind of like the finishing touch. So we don't have a hob in action at the moment. So it will just be able to be the final piece that will be able to allow us to have a fully functioning kitchen.
Nice. And then what's like sort of the next big project you're going to undertake for 2026? Have you got anything you're like, I can't wait to get stuck in?
So number one would be to replace the windows. We should be getting a decision soon on whether we're allowed to do that at the front or not. So replace the windows. We are definitely going to fast track insulating the loft because of the cold, horrific weather that we're having. Seeing our breath, in the rooms of the house is something that I think we're ready to say goodbye to. So we need to get the loft insulated. That's a no-brainer. And then I think it will be the downstairs toilet, and then that will unlock the ability to do the bathroom. And then kitchen, bathroom, then we're set for those functional rooms, and we can move on to dining room, lounge, and some of the other bedrooms, hallways.
Yeah. We both work from home as well, so I'm really keen to get my study decorated. Yeah. Again, that will be sort of an easier job because it will just be sort of wallpapering and putting some new floor down. But again, we're just focusing on getting the main functioning rooms or the main, priority rooms done, and then do the sort of finishing touches. But yeah, it's been a lot with us both working from home in the very cold house with the sort of lot of mess. But it's just, I want to do all of it. It's just, we can only take one thing at a time. So
amazing. Well, thank you so much for giving us your time today. We always sort of end on the same question, and it's basically the best and worst thing about, DIYing your own property, and how you've sort of, the best thing you've experienced so far, or the most rewarding, but also what's the biggest negative to sort of doing it?
What would you say the best would be? Maybe making an open plan?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, just more generally, just being able to make the house our own. I mean, it's been a real privilege to be able to choose every sort of finishing detail. I know you can sort of go into a house and really like the general style, but we've managed to choose every sort of finishing detail, and I sort of can't imagine not doing that in a house now. And also just the sense of pride you get from sort of having a challenge, working really hard on it, overcoming it and seeing the result, and then, being able to welcome sort of friends and family into your home to sort of, it will be so nice to be able to have them over for dinner.
Yeah, we like cooking. So I think the kitchen, in terms of a specific project, I'd probably say the kitchen makes sense so far, and also making an open plan as well, right? Because that's the kind of thing where watching the wall get knocked down, you've got the acro props in, etc. The wall gets knocked down, the beams go in just instantly. It feels totally different, right? It's super exciting watching that happen.
You owe people a dinner for helping you with all that pile of stuff, so it's good the kitchen's going in.
Dinners, yeah, definitely. We're in debt at the moment for a few dinners. In terms of the worst, what would you say? Maybe cutting the pipe in the bathroom. Yeah. So there was a pipe that sticking out, and I thought, this pipe's just really annoying. And I kind of tapped on it, and it sounded what I thought hollow. Not that that's the way testing. And I just got the pipe clutch on there, started twisting, and then next thing you know, I've got my thumb over the pipe and I'm screaming to Ellie to go and shut the water mains off.
See, that's why you need two people. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If I did that, I'm screwed.
Yeah, that would have been a nightmare actually if you weren't there.
Because it's a long way down to the basement.
I would have loved to pay to see you darting down 5 flights of stairs or whatever you said it was.
Yeah, we definitely would have created more damp issues had that been the case, I think.
Oh, amazing. Thank you so much for your time. Could you just let everyone listening know where we can follow the renovation as it moves forward, please?
Yeah, so if you follow us on Instagram at justanother.renovation.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time and good luck with everything you're doing this year. And we'll be following along.
No problem.
Thanks,
Pleasure talking to you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you so much, Ellie and Lawrence.
Oh, you're doing your thing's doing it again.
Oh, is it? God damn.
Surely you can just do it now, can't you?
Yeah.
That's it. Oh, I'm glad I picked up on it that time.
Yeah, well done. Thank you.
It's so weird. It resets it for you.
I know.
It's bizarre.
I think also because I've got my stuff in the way.
Oh, yeah. Actually, this is working quite well because I can still just flick it on quickly and look at my notes. I might continue doing that.
Thank you so much, Ellie and Lawrence. Another great episode, mate. Such great guests to have on, and so interesting about their house, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. I love speaking with couples. First of all, I always try and get some dirt. I never do, unfortunately. But
staying strong.
Right? Yeah. I'm sure. Hopefully, like the cameras go off and they just like scream at each other again. That's what I hope is happening. But they did seem to work well as a team, and you sort of need to on a house like that, right?
Yeah, definitely. And they've both got such like nice, like bubbly personalities, and you can tell how much this house means to them.
Yeah,
they really love it, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. And you could see because they keep posting saying, "Oh, the house nobody wanted," and I'm like, kind of like, surely that's not true because it's amazing. It's got, but actually, when you think 6 bedrooms, like Victorian, it's got the basement and everything. It's just and room after room. You are just like, oh yeah, that is a lot for anyone to undertake.
And all the, I suppose, the issues that come with like an older property, especially if it's been on the market a while.
Yeah,
like it just gets worse and worse and worse, doesn't it?
Yeah. So fair play for them taking it on. It looks like they're doing a cracking job.
Yeah, doing an amazing job. Even though they did get a bit of stick for their paneling, bless them. It's so harsh. Why people feel like they have to be negative about them doing what they want to do with their property. It's
so fun as well. And they haven't, like, you think, oh, if you've ripped it out or something, you might be like, oh, you've ripped out like decades of history, but you've just painted it. If you're that bothered about it, the next owner could just varnish it down a bit and sand it down and varnish it or whatever. And it looks fantastic as well.
Yeah, it does look so good. That's the thing. Like, I understand if they had, like, say, ripped it out and like burnt it or whatever. Like, you can understand people getting annoyed by that, but yeah, they've just painted it and it looks amazing.
Weirdly, I think when you get criticism on social media, you're kind of doing something right because it's like it goes viral or whatever, and loads of people, mostly because people love it, but that does trigger obviously the odd complete nutter. Yeah,
and I think sometimes it's like sheep mentality. Someone will say something and then someone will be like, oh, I want to get involved in that, and like rather than like them like, have you really got such a strong opinion of someone doing what they want in their own house? Yeah, exactly. And I've actually seen it both ways. So we converted a house once that had that panelling in the hallway and we left it because the hallway was still quite light still. But then a client of mine has painted theirs in like a cream and it looks awesome. And it makes the hallway really bright and light and nice. Yeah. So I totally get both methods. But it's so weird. You just be like, you go to hell. How dare you paint some panelling? It's just like, calm down. That's it. Yeah, it's just embarrassing. Yeah. But awesome. Love the house. Love those guys. And can see why I think they're following, even since we've spoken to them, has gone up quite a lot. So it's really cool. Yeah, it's been really fun. Like, I genuinely follow them along and like it's fun to see their journey and what they're up to and stuff. So it's definitely worth following them along. It's definitely one that will take longer to get to that finishing line, I think, than some. You think like most houses are like 2-3 bedroom or whatever, and got a 6 bedroom. But then it's more like real, right? Like, they're not tradesmen in. They are doing a lot of stuff themselves. Like, it is going to take a while, but like half the fun's the journey. Yeah, exactly. And I love that they're just doing all the dirty work, like the work out front, digging everything up, ripping down ceilings, just like the gritty, dirty stuff, and piles of stuff everywhere. But I love it. Yeah. Good old Reno.
So yeah, ideal guests.
Yeah,
thanks
amazing.
for coming on, guys.
Definitely, yeah. Thanks so much for joining us. Well, and thanks a lot to everyone else listening along to that.
Yeah, if you guys have anyone who wants to come on or know of anyone we can ask, please let us know.
Very professional.
Yeah. We spoke to so many people now, but we're trying to get as much variety as possible. But anyone can recommend anyone, get in touch.
And also, is there anything specific that you want us to talk to, or any specific people that do a specific job? Garden people.
Yeah, we said that before, didn't we? Garden people.
We'll definitely get some garden people on.
I was thinking of garden people the other day because how hot it's been.
Yeah.
And like my brother didn't stop his garden room business still going. I was like, that's a bit harsh. And then I saw some landscapers starting a new job, like just shoveling around like Type 1 stuff, and I was like, that is brutal. I thought I'll be a crap boss because I'll just be like, I'll have a couple of days off.
You can't.
But then actually you just can't. If you want to make money, you've got to crack on.
Yeah, amazing.
But yeah, any garden people want to come on, aka landscapers, get in touch.
If you want to hit us up on email, ping us an email to hello@DIYguyspodcast.com. Hit us up on Instagram, DIY_guys_. And as always, thanks so much for listening along. Please like and subscribe. Recommend us to your friends.
That's one good suggestion.
Yeah.
See you next week.
See you next week.